To our next guest, it is a learning difficulty that can be corrected. Nili Raviv set up the Raviv method in Israel more than a decade ago. And for Paul Houghton, the Raviv method meant a serious life change. Now, Paul joins us with his mother, Janine, and Nili Raviv this morning. First of all, you're very welcome, all three of you. Now, I know, Janine, you started, first of all, by going over to Nili in her practice and doing the training when Paul was just 12 years of age.
That's right, yes. I knew from a very early age that Paul had dyslexia, and he was, in fact, officially recognised with dyslexia when he was about 11. But the help that he was provided with school, I realised he was always going to struggle, and I wanted to prevent him having to go through that struggle for the rest of his life. So I wanted something to correct his dyslexia, not just to cope with his dyslexia.
Like any mother would.
As any mother would.
In that situation, you're looking from the outside in and seeing much more than Paul even would himself. What was it like, Paul, first of all, being in school and having a difficulty and maybe not being able to pinpoint it?
Well, it's very frustrating because I'm very forward in what I want to do. Like, I know whenever I see something, I go after it. So whenever I couldn't get there, it was very frustrating. It was like I was being held back whenever I could be going forward and I couldn't, and then obviously as everybody else just rode on ahead of me, I was just left behind, and it's not exactly the best of feelings.
Absolutely. So literally you went over to Nili, you trained with Nili.
Yes.
And how long did it take before you were able to come back and start to put these things into practice with Paul?
The way the training course was designed, I was able to do a couple of courses with Nili and then begin to operate with my son at home during the interval time. So I would take some training with Nili, come back, bring it back to Ireland, train Paul, go back to Nili for more, bring that back. And by the time I had finished the course, I realised that Paul was well on the road to correction. And shortly, it took a little bit longer, but shortly after I finished the course, he also completed the course and has just read completely fluently ever since.
Fantastic. Nili, talk to us about the methods that you're using, because obviously they're working based on what we're seeing here this morning. I mean, he's reading fluently, and now I hear he's even writing a book. Congratulations.
Yes, well, it's coming along.
So what's it based on? Try to describe to our viewers at home what you're actually doing. You're trying to balance the right and the left sides of the brain.
It's the
basically.
whole brain. The
whole body, okay.
The whole parts of the brain. But it expresses itself through the body, of course.
So you're actually doing exercises, including the legs and the arms, but it's sending messages to the brain that will hopefully start to correct any learning difficulty that may be present.
It builds the new circuits in the brain that make you able to read properly, because there should be certain circuits in the brain that that has to do with reading. If they were not constructed very well, you will find learning difficulties and reading difficulties. It comes together.
And you're not only dealing with people with dyslexia, but also dyspraxia and other learning difficulties.
Yeah, attention deficit disorder, dyscalculia, all kind of learning difficulties.
It took Paul 6 months with the help of Janine, his mum, but as Janine was saying to me earlier, it may take that bit longer for a child who had ADD as well as dyslexia, and that it really does depend on the specific case, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's, let's say it's between 4 to 8 months altogether. Not more than that. We speak about months, never years or longer time.
How did it all start, Nili? Because I know you had personal, first-hand experience. Your son had dyslexia.
Yes.
And he was 20, and you just thought, OK, look, I'm going to do something about this. So where did the research start?
Well, it started when my son corrected himself spontaneously, as if.
Did he correct himself, or did you put things
No, I did
into
nothing
place?
about it. I did nothing. I used the conventional methods before the school, whatever we tried to do, had to do with the conventional methods, and it didn't work for him. And he was dyslexic. He was not able to read at all. He was able to read 3 words in a row and says, well, I can't see anymore. It jumps, okay? And when he was about let's say 20 years old, he went to Hawaii for surfing. When he came back, all of a sudden he was reading, you know, as if he was a perfect reader. The first book which he read was The Catcher in the Rye of Salinger, an American, which is a postmodern book, very difficult to read. And he said to me, it's very easy. Do you have more of it?
Well, it's already been recognised over in the Department of Israel, and it's working really well over in the UK. And of course, Paul is our first case in Ireland.
Yeah.
And we're delighted to have you on Ireland AM. Well done, and best of luck with the book. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well done, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.